Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar on making the most of remote teaching using Edpuzzle. Now, we're just going to give folks a minute or so right here at the beginning to get logged in and set up. And so while we wait, I'm just clicking publish on a poll question asking how well has remote teaching been working for you? And so as you get set up, please take 5 or 10 seconds to reflect and answer this poll question on the right side of your screen. So hello to anyone who just got logged in. We're just spending another 15 or 20 seconds giving folks a chance to get set up. And in that time, I would appreciate it if each of you could submit an answer to the poll question on the right side of your screen. Alrighty, we're going to dive right in. So hello, everyone. My name is Alex, and I'm Edpuzzle's Curriculum Director, and I'm super excited to be with you all for this session, talking about how to make the most of remote teaching using Edpuzzle. Now, I want to start with 3 quick housekeeping items. First, I want to encourage all of you to stick around for this entire session. At the very end, we'll be offering a certificate that you can use to earn professional development hours or just to show your school or district that you did in fact attend today's session. So that'll be at the very end. Second, I want to mention that this entire webinar is being recorded. And so please don't feel like you need to take notes or copy everything you see me doing in real time. You will all be able to rewatch and replay this webinar as many times as you need. And the last thing is I see there are a bunch of you on this webinar right now, and there's only one of me. And to make sure that we have time to get through everything we're trying to cover in this webinar, I'm not going to have a live chat window or a question and answer session in today's webinar. But what I will do instead is publish right now the email for our Edpuzzle Support Center. And please, if you have any lingering questions throughout or after this webinar that I don't get to, send us an email, and I promise that either myself or one of my team members will get back to you with a personal response to your question. And so without further ado, let's dive right in. So I'm going to come and click end on this poll. And somewhat as I expected, most of you are not having the best experience with remote teaching this far. And I would guess that many of you are relying on platforms like Zoom or other video conferencing apps to try and deliver real live video lessons to your students. And I'm also going to guess that that's been pretty chaotic because you're there trying to present a lesson as if you were in the classroom, and your students are watching through their somewhat spotty internet connection. And there's no real way to tell from each student's little thumbnail whether they're actually paying attention or understanding the lesson that you're going over. And so if this has been your experience with remote teaching, then this is the perfect webinar for you, because we're going to be showing you how you can take the exact same lessons you're already teaching your students and turn them into video lessons that students can watch anytime, anywhere, and that will give you insights into who's paying attention and who's understanding the content that you're explaining. And we think at Edpuzzle, this is going to be such a game changer for you that we've been hard at work and are excited to announce our brand new integration with Screencastify, which makes it easier than ever for you to create video lessons for your students. And so for the remainder of this webinar, the next 20 or 25 minutes, we're going to be going over just how easy it is to take the lessons you're already teaching them and turn them into video lessons for your students. And so the first thing we'll go over is how to set up Screencastify on your computer. So you'll need to be using Google Chrome as your browser, and then you'll come to screencastify.com and just click the blue buttons that say Add to Chrome. Then you'll install it as a browser extension. Once it's installed, just click the Screencastify icon in your Chrome toolbar, and then you'll go through the setup process. Just sign in with Google, making sure to save videos to your Google Drive, give Screencastify the permissions it needs, and then step 3 is the important one. If you want to take advantage of the integration with Edpuzzle, you need to select Educator as your role. And so please remember, on step 3 of the setup, select Educator as your role. And after that, you're all done. Screencastify is ready to go, and you're ready to start making your first video lesson for your students. And so now I'm going to show you how I go about creating a video lesson. So let me flip you over to my screen and we'll go through this. So here is a lesson I've created on an introduction to matter, and we'll turn this into a video using Screencastify. And I want to point out, I planned this lesson as if it were any other lesson I was delivering real in live time to my students. So I start the lesson by asking students to reflect on what they already know or have already learned. After that, I spend some time introducing the new content. So I give definitions, I go through some examples, I'll give my students some counterexamples. And then after the new content, I like to give my students a chance to practice. So I'll ask them some questions and get them applying the content they just learned to really solidify their understanding. We'll go through a couple examples as a class so everyone achieves mastery. And then we end the lesson by reiterating the most important thing students have to remember. And so this is just how I structure my science lessons, but you can do this for whatever subject and whatever lesson you're teaching. Whether it's a history lesson, a vocab lesson, a new math concept, or review for a test. You can take whatever you're already doing with your students and whatever you already know how to do with your students, and instead of presenting it live, just record it as a video. So let's go about how to do that now. So in the top right corner of your screen, click the Screencastify logo, and we're going to set up our video. I select Browser tab because my entire video is happening in this one tab of my browser. If you're going between multiple tabs or windows, select Desktop, or select Webcam if you're going to be just filming a video of yourself. Then you can go ahead and make sure the microphone's working, check that little bar. I recommend all of you embed your webcam so your students get a video of you, just like you're watching a video of me in the corner of your screen right now. And because I already have this video of myself, I'm going to actually turn this off for my video though. And then there are other options. So I like to take a deep breath before I record videos. So I give myself a 10-second countdown. I like to draw on my screen as if it were a whiteboard. So I like drawing tools. And there's no sound or no audio in my presentation. So I'm not turning on the tab audio. Great. So my settings are all ready to go. I click record and we'll see that 10-second countdown that I set. There it is. So let's dive into our presentation and get ready to record. So the video is just beginning, and there are lots of features that you can explore with Screencastify, but today we'll keep it simple. I'll start my lesson and I'll ask students, what do you already know about matter? Then after students respond, I'll move forward and start explaining the new content. Matter is anything that has weight and takes up space. We go through examples and some counterexamples so students really understand the difference. And then we practice. I ask students, is milk matter? How do you know? And so I get students reflecting and applying that definition they just learned to a new situation. And then we'll go through this in the video. We'll go through some more problems. So is a person or is air matter? And then we'll close out that lesson. I'll reiterate the main point that matter is anything that has weight and takes up space. And that will bring me to the end of my lesson. So I'll come up to the Screencastify logo again, click on the Screencastify logo, and just click stop on my recording. And just like that, I've finished my video lesson. It's all done. And I will automatically be taken to the Screencastify page to preview my video. And so again, you take the same lessons you already teach and already know how to teach, and instead of presenting over Zoom, just present them to Screencastify. But now that we have our video, the next thing you want to do is upload it to Edpuzzle. Come over to the right side of your screen where you see the Share section. And if you don't see the Edpuzzle option, come down to where it says More Options. Then click Add More Share Options, and you'll be able to turn on the Edpuzzle integration. So we'll turn on that integration and then come back to our recordings. So we'll come back to My Recordings. We'll go back to that video. And now that we've turned it on, you can see on the right side, we have that option to upload to Edpuzzle. So all we have to do is click Upload to Edpuzzle, and you'll be taken to edpuzzle.com. And the last thing you need to do is click on that Google Drive button to start the import process. So we'll click that. Edpuzzle does the rest of the work, and you will be taken to your Edpuzzle content library. And we should see pop up any second. Yep, there's that video, An Introduction to Matter. It's just processing. And as soon as it's processed, we'll be ready to start using it on Edpuzzle. So let me flip you back over to the presentation now. And that's really all there is to creating a video lesson with Screencastify. And now that it's uploaded to Edpuzzle, we can transform this into an interactive video lesson in just a couple of clicks. So I'm going to show you how to add questions and assign this video to your students. So let me flip you over to my screen again. And great, that video has finished processing. And so now we can go in and edit this video to add questions. So we'll click the video. And then we'll come over to the bottom right corner. Let me move myself and click Edit. Now in the edit window, you already have this video as you like it. So all you need to worry about is coming to the Questions tab right here at the top. So we'll come to Questions. And then I play through the video. And when I get to a point where I want to embed a question, say here, I'm asking about what they already know about matter. Well, I'll just click to add an open-ended question right here. So I click open-ended, I type out, what do you already know about matter? And then I click save. And in 5 seconds, that question has been embedded directly into the video. And now my video is interactive. That was so simple. But let's keep going. And let's go and add another question to this video. So let's find that part, that question about milk, right here. And let's put in, as an example, a multiple choice question right here. So I'll click multiple choice question. And then I'll type in my question. So is milk matter? And my answers here will just be yes or no. Now, if you have different questions, you can add as many answer choices and set which answers are correct or incorrect. But for now, this question, we just click save. And there's another question embedded into the video. So simple. Now, if this were a real lesson, I might go through and add some more questions, ask students to explain their thinking, etc. But for now, I'm going to leave it just like this. And so I will come up to the top right corner of my screen and click on Finish. And so that's going to take me back to this main video page. I see those questions are now embedded into the video, and I'm ready to assign it. So I will come over to Assign on the bottom right corner. And I want to point out here, if you're using Google Classroom or some other LMS like Schoology, Canvas, etc., this assigning process might be a little bit different for you, just putting that out there. Here, I'm just using a traditional Edpuzzle class. So I just want to point out, if you use an LMS, this exact step will be a bit different. But let's assign this to class number 1 and come down and just click Assign. And just like that, this video is ready to go, assigned to our students with those interactive questions directly embedded into the video. So let me flip you back over. And that's all there is. Now we've created our video lesson, we've edited it and made it interactive, and we've assigned it to our students. And so I hope you can see just how doable and just how simple and quick this process really is. You take an existing lesson that you are going to teach live, You just record it as a video instead, and then spend 3 to 5 minutes making it an interactive video and assigning it to your students. And now I want to show you what a big difference this will make for your students. And so I want to take a minute and show you the student view of going through an Edpuzzle assignment. So I'm going to flip you over to my screen. And this time I'm logged into Edpuzzle as a student. So in the top right corner, you can see I'm logged in as a student here. And so I will come and play through this video as if it were any other video. And this looks pretty similar to what they would see if you were teaching them live. But the benefit is if students need to write something down in their notebook, well, they can come and they can pause this lesson and write down whatever they need in their notebook. Or if students are confused and need to hear something again, we have an option for them to rewatch sections so they can hear content explained one more time in case they miss something. Now, of course, the other advantage when you use an Edpuzzle video is all of those questions that you embedded in. And so here we can see one of those questions coming up in just a couple of seconds. Let's give it a moment to load. And there's that open-ended question. Now students are activating their prior knowledge, thinking about what they've already learned, and typing in their responses to submit to you. Students click submit, and then they can continue playing through the video. And now another thing I want to point out is Edpuzzle prevents students from skipping through the video. So students have to watch through the entire video lesson you've assigned. And even better, in my opinion, we actually force students to stay on this tab. So if students open another tab, the video is going to pause. And so you can feel confident students are watching and paying attention to the entire lesson that you've assigned them. All right, so we've got this next multiple choice question coming up right about here. Is milk matter? Well, if we weren't sure, we could rewatch and always catch up in case we missed something. But for now, we'll go ahead and put our answer in, and we get instantaneous feedback that our answer is correct. And so we could then click continue again, keep moving through the video until we finished it, at which point it automatically submits. And so I won't make us go through the entire video today. We'll stop it just here, but that gives you a quick look into the student experience. And I'm hoping at this point, you're seeing the benefit of using Edpuzzle compared with a live video lesson, giving students the opportunity to pause, to rewatch, and to hold them accountable so they actually pay attention and go through the entire lesson is a huge game changer. And if you're not entirely convinced about the benefits of using Edpuzzle yet, I think I can convince you with this very last section for today. And that's looking at some of the data analytics that Edpuzzle offers you as a teacher. And so for the last time, I'm going to flip you over to my screen, and I'll show you what you will see after some students have gone through this assignment. So in the top right corner, I'm going to come to my classes, and I'll go ahead and find that assignment, and I can see 4 students have turned it in, and I have some open-ended responses that I need to grade. So I'll come to the assignment, and let's finish grading first. So I click 5 answers to grade, and what I see, these are the responses to that question, what do you already know about matter? And so normally I might grade these correct or incorrect, but I was just getting student ideas out. And so I could actually come in the top right and just mark all of these ungraded ones as correct. Boom, grading done. That was easy. And now that I've graded, I can see my grades auto-calculated. Look how well my students did. They're all understanding the content. And I have this data about who watched the video, who watched some of the video, and which of my students haven't yet completed the assignment. If you want more details, just click a student name. You can see how many times did they watch each section of the video? What questions did they get right or wrong? And what were their individual responses to each question? Now, this feature gives you as a teacher superpowers. because you have these deep insights into where your students' misconceptions may be. And so the next time you go and work with a student, you know exactly how to maximize your time and give them what they need. You could also choose to look at data organized by question rather than student. And so with that open-ended question, we could figure out how we want to lead a discussion based on our student responses. So I can see here that student 6, well, they have this one response about matter, but it's quite different than what student 3 thought. And what student 3 thought is quite different than student 5. So I can start figuring out, how can I call on these students, get them discussing, get them debating each other so that students are teaching each other the new content. Multiple choice questions, it's easy to see who gets it and who doesn't. Perfect if you need to pull a small group and want to figure out how to organize those. And so these insights are a real savior for you as a teacher. And I think the takeaway is that Edpuzzle, it's not just about helping students learn more through a video. It's really about giving you as a teacher superpowers by showing you what your students do and do not yet understand. So let me flip you back over. And that takes us just about to the end of today's presentation. And so I'm hoping that at this point, the choice for you is clear. Presenting live video lessons over Zoom or whatever video conferencing app you're using, it just doesn't work very well. Students can miss content. There's no way to tell if they're understanding, and it's stressful and chaotic for you as a teacher. But you can take the same thing you're already doing and instead just record it as a video. Students get to watch anytime, anywhere. You get those analytics and insights into what they're doing and what they're understanding. And it's accessible for them to rewatch, to relearn, and to really help all of your students succeed. And that brings us just about to the end. And I'm hoping all of you at this point have the decision that every time you need to deliver a lesson, you should do it by recording it as a video and assigning it through Edpuzzle. Your students will get so much more out of it, and it adds little to no extra effort on your part as a teacher. And so I want to end by just saying thank you to all of you for tuning in to today's webinar. And thank you for all of the work that you're doing and continue to do for your students during this enormously stressful time. And so as I said at the beginning, I want to make sure that I offer you all a certificate to show that you did in fact attend today's session. And so I just clicked publish on that. So please scroll down, click that blue button, and you will be able to get a certificate for attending today's session. The other thing I just want to remind you is that email support@edpuzzle.com will put you in touch with one of our team members. And so if you have any lingering questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. We want to make this transition to remote teaching as simple and straightforward as possible so that you can invest your effort in supporting and helping your students. And so once again, from all of us at Edpuzzle, thank you for investing the time. And we look forward to seeing your Screencastify videos on Edpuzzle very soon. All right. Thanks, you all.